Hello, my foodie friends. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Kitchwitch, Tara. And as you can see, we are doing recipes for the cooking impaired in the world of Skyrim, in our own little village. Today, we are going to be doing it's a dessert of sorts, but it's not an overpoweringly sweet dessert, which I actually really like. And I was really surprised how much I've enjoyed this, making this / eating it. In some ways, it reminds me a little bit of like when we made Yorkshire pudding in a previous video. It's got that same kind of old-fashioned-y recipe vibe, only this is a bread. So what are we making, friends? Which maybe I should back up slightly to remind you, this is not my recipe. It is from this wonderful cookbook by Chelsea Monroe Cassell, the Elder Scrolls official cookbook. I am going with the wonderful recipes that are in this book that are Skyrim inspired. So this time what we're going to do is boiled cream treat. So it sounds strange, the boiled part. We're not actually going to be cooking it on boil. It's baked. I'm thinking that the boiled portion is kind of taking into account the custard sauce, which we'll get to at the bottom of the recipe. But let's go ahead and do it, shall we? 1/4 cup unsalted butter, and this is melted, not softened, melted. 1/4 cup of warm milk. And it helps if the milk has got a pretty decent amount of a decent fat content. Throw that out there so you know. 1/2 cup of sugar. And in this particular recipe, I would not recommend doing a sugar substitute. You're going to use sugar. But it's still not going to be overpowering, even though you're using the regular stuff. 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And for those of you getting the little packets of active dry yeast, 2 teaspoons is the same as 1 packet. So 1 packet. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of ground cardamom. 4 cups flour. The thing that we did slightly different with this one is that when we were making it, because of dietary needs for my friend Danielle, whose kitchen we were using and sharing the cooking activity with, she has a gluten intolerance, so our flour was gluten-free. It didn't seem to really affect the recipe at all, but just know that that was a little change that we did have. 1 egg beaten. And then last, you're going to add custard sauce. And yes, I know there's no recipe here for custard sauce. It's going to be in the next video. I know, so bad. So next video, you will have the second half of making this recipe. All right, my metric fans, here we go. I got you covered. Do 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 do. You're done. All right, guys, let's get into the kitchen and start this bake. We're using this recipe. I'll do a better visual of it after the fact. But we got to mix and let our bread and yeast activate. Okay, melting 1/4 cup of butter. Yay!
Amy.
Alright, we're gonna warm up. How much of the milk?
1 1/4 cups.
1 1/4 cups. Warmed up in the microwave. Okay, so we're doing 2 teaspoons of yeast. Dry yeast.
You have dry, active. Or active dry.
Dry and active. Active, dry, dry, active. However you want to put it.
Which
sorry, guys.
actually appears to be just about one of these packets. So we're just going to dump the rest of that in there because...
Yeah. Alright, so future reference. You get the package of yeast. It's about 2 teaspoons. Yeah.
So
adding the melted butter to the yeast. And that was half a cup or about a half a
Quarter
stick.
cup.
I said
Quarter.
half a stick or a quarter cup.
Yeah.
I said it funny.
Oh, you're fine. Milk.
And we're adding the milk.
Warm milk.
Yes, warm milk. This one's lactose free. But that will work out just fine. Now we're adding our salt.
Sugar first, actually.
My bad. Wrong container. Our sugar, that would be a lot of salt.
Half a cup of salt.
Half
salt our shelves.
Half a cup of sugar.
I'm gonna dump it in here.
Thank you, my helping hand / comedy assist. Awesome. It's good to have fun while you cook, yeah? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the only way to do it.
Alright, half a cup. It's baking. I always say cooking.
It's okay, me too. I'm just being a brat right now.
We are cooking bread. We are baking bread. We are doing the things.
So we want to mix it until it's dissolved. Until the yeast is dissolved.
And she said yeast, not yeet. Yeet!
Yeet the yeast!
Yeet the yeast!
Yeah. This is also, these are going to be gluten-free boiled cream treats. So we'll really get to see how they work out.
Yeah, because we're using the gluten-free flour and all the good stuff. Yeah.
Somebody has celiac disease.
She's talking about my helping hands. Do I use your name?
I don't care.
She don't care that she got a name. All right.
You asked, do I use your name? And I said I don't care.
I know, but I thought it so funny the way I said it. All right. So thank you, Danielle, for loaning us your hand swirling abilities, your kitchen, and ingredients, because this is awesome.
Okay, salt. Salt is over here. Ooh.
Yep, now some salt.
Now it's dissolved. At least I think it's dissolved. It just looks like oil bubbles right now from the butter.
Well, yeah. I mean, all that. It's been,
So,
frost.
a quarter teaspoon of salt. Quarter teaspoon of salt.
Yep. Awesome. She knows the trick. You make it flat. You even it out.
Of course you do. Baking is precise.
It is. It's also fun.
I know. Alright, cardamom. Now this is a brand new one because I used up all my cardamom yesterday in making all these spices.
Cardamom.
Because I made the Stormcloak spices and the Nord spices and the Imperial seasoning.
And so we're going to use 1 teaspoon of that lovely stuff. She even got the organic. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they didn't even have normal. They just had it in organic. So I was like, alright, that's fine. But yeah.
Sorry, guys. I do not have my normal recording equipment on me right this second. So if things seem a tad wiggly, it's because I'm holding the camera. Da 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 da.
I guess I could have gotten one of my whisks out. Oh well.
That's right. We're a big fan of whisks being forms of fork or of actual whisk. You know, you whisk how you want to whisk. There's no judgment.
Right. Then we're gonna gradually mix in 4 cups of flour. I'm gonna be getting a all-purpose gluten-free flour because that's what we're using.
Yeah, gluten-free flour.
Celiac disease sucks.
And Skyrim is very royal, imperial-esque at times, so it makes sense that we're using King Arthur.
I never thought about that. I guess the Nords are kind of Saxon.
Yeah, Nords are Saxonish. Now, the container she's using already has a measuring on the side. Let's see if I can get it on screen. Where it says 4 cups. It does indeed.
I'd say that's about 4 cups. About enough for it to not matter.
Awesome.
Okay, here's that. So now we're going to gradually mix this in until I have a dough that isn't too sticky to handle.
Yeah.
And then we're going to lightly flour. Oh, I'm going to need to... Okay, then we'll turn this into a lightly floured surface.
Nice.
So we'll wipe that down. It's a little at a time. It's fine.
Yeah.
Dough-ish. But now it's starting to stick less to my feet. Oh.
Punch it down. There, that's it. That's all the punching, yep. And then we're going to go ahead and separate it into... Break it up
Okay.
and make 10 little balls.
I don't know how big they should be, so I'm just going to make them and then add to them, I guess. Oh my gosh, they feel so crumbly, but not. Does that make sense? Oh, a little bit crumbly.
Now, we're using gluten-free flour, which may or may not be why it's a tad crumbly. Not a ton crumbly.
It will be more crumbly when it's gluten-free. It's also denser.
Yeah, which is also why our ball probably wasn't doubled in size. It was definitely larger, but not quite doubled. Maybe a little over a fourth bigger. And then once we have all 10 of the balls, we're going to put them on this parchment paper and flatten them. All right.
We're going to go 4. We're going to go 4 on the sides. They're not very even, but, you know, that's fine.
Yeah, they're the best we can do with you know, situationals. So, as long as there isn't, like, a few ginormous ones,
I mean,
should be
some of
okay.
them are looking pretty big, like that one.
I don't know.
Just to slightly flatten them.
Yeah, slightly flatten.
Leave them to rise.
Yep. So then we're going to leave them to rise for another 30 minutes. Alright guys, so we will see this again in about 30 minutes and see how they're looking.
I'm just taking a break. The bun. We're going to be putting the egg on the buns. Just putting a little bit of milk in here. And then I'm going to kind of whip it up. Because we'll just put this, it'll help the boiled cream treats to brown. Now if you have a brush, you can use that, but I'm silly and I do not have a brush. So we're going to use a spoon and drizzle a little bit of it. So that's pretty mixed, I'd say. Oh, I need to preheat this oven to 350. Bake 350. 350?
Okay, and then when you're telling her that we're
going to take the plastic off. We're going to make a nice little hole. And this has not risen as much as yours probably will because it is gluten-free. And for some reason, that means it doesn't get to act the same way as normal flour. But that just means yours will be less crumbly. You can also use a small glass to do this, probably like a shot glass size, I would say, to make this little hole. Alright, those look good. Now, I do not have a pastry brush, like I said. Pastry brush, not a pasty brush, sorry. I'm going to spoon a little bit of this in here. Oh, I guess I'll just kind of, a little bit, whoa. I'll spread it around as I need to. So I'm going to kind of brush this all over them with my fingers. Child, go. Probably already said this is going to make it golden brown, but
yeah, it will definitely make it golden brown.
Alright, I'm going to use my fingers. Yay! That's exactly what I want to do, but that's okay.
Clean fingers works.
Yep.
When you don't have a brush.
This is why I should have gotten one. We were just... So our custard, after it sat for quite a while, actually, more than an hour. And I'm using a fresh spoon. I'm also going to be careful not to get this raw egg back in here. That way you can just eat this. Or put it on something else. So we're going to dollop some in there. If we have any left over. I don't know. I think we will, though. Because this is a lot of custard. Being generous. say those boiled cream treats are looking pretty good. Ready to go in the oven. So we'll cook them for 15 to 18 minutes. We'll see you when they're out.
And on what temperature?
350 degrees.
Make sure you preheat before you throw it in there.
Yeah.
All right, so these are our finished boiled cream treats. There are supposed to be 10. We only put out these wonderful 7 for the moment because that's what fit on the plate. Wow. And these are gonna be amazing. So I'm gonna stop you guys here because we're gonna all devour these very shortly. Leave a comment. Let me know if you want us to do more of, well, Elder Scroll recipes or recipes from any other specialty cookbooks that's inspired by something different. Or more desserts. Yum! Leave me a comment. Like the video if you think it's awesome sauce and you want me to keep up this fun. And until next time, I miss your faces already. Bye, foodie friends. Mwah!